Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in this afternoon to attend our webinar on the US Programme 2015 and for a live Q&A web chat. We're so delighted that just 1 week before the application deadline, we could speak to you all and hear any questions that you have. Perhaps you started an application and you have a question about the application itself, or you started the application and you're just not sure if you do want to apply or if the program's for you. Or maybe you've just heard of the program and you want some more information and you're just trying to kind of soak it all up before the application deadline. So we're really looking forward to hearing your questions and speaking to you today. Of course, the point of the web chat is to fill in any gaps that you might have or to answer any burning questions so that you all have the next week to work on your applications and then hit submit before the 27th of January. So before we start the Q&A web chat itself, we're just going to give you a quick background on the program, just in case you don't know about the kind of basics of the program yet. So the Sutton Trust Programme is a partnership between the Sutton Trust, which is a UK charity, and the US-UK Fulbright Commission. And it's a program that's designed to give students a taste of US culture and higher education and to help you make your own informed choices about your education. So it's run in partnership with the two organisations, and you might have heard about the Sutton Trust before. It's a UK charity that was founded by Sir Peter Lampill with the aim of providing educational opportunities for able young people from non-privileged backgrounds and to improve social mobility through education. And the US-UK Fulbright Commission is a not-for-profit organisation that was set up just after World War II to promote peace and cultural understanding between the US and the UK. And the two organisations have been working together for 4 years now, so since 2012, on the US programme, and you're applying for the 4th cohort of students on the programme. And you might already know that the kind of main point of the programme is a 1-week summer school in the US, and the programme sort of revolves around that week, and that is definitely the highlight, I think, for a lot of students on the programme. But aside from that, we also give admission support and applying to US universities before and after that 1-week summer school. So we have residentials in the UK before and after that, and we provide you with guidance and advice on US study. There's also many other benefits to the programme. So we provide support for your schools, for your parents, and we also cover all the programme costs. So the cost of coming to the UK and the US residentials. And we, I think you'll hear from our two volunteers that are with us today that you also will gain lasting friendships from this program. So it's a chance to meet with other students like yourselves for a kind of year-long program. And yeah, it's just a fantastic opportunity if it's something that you're interested in. So now I'm just going to introduce the panel that's here with us today. So my name is Rosie Hodger, and that's me just at the bottom right picture there. And I'm one of the program coordinators and educational advisors for the Sutton Trust US Programme. And to tell you a bit of background on myself, I'm from Scotland, and I studied in Scotland and did 1 year abroad in the US. And then when I came home from my year abroad, I just had the best time ever, and I wanted to encourage other people to study in the US. So I got involved with the Fulbright Commission and then the Sutton Trust Programme when it began in 2012. And then since then have been working with students like you on the programme as one of the 3 coordinators. And I'm joined here today with my colleague Amanda Batista, who's just there on the left, and she's the communication officer and educational advisor here. So Amanda, do you want to tell a bit about yourself?
Sure. So hi everyone. As Rosie said, my name is Amanda Batista. I'm the communications officer and educational advisor at the Fulbright Commission. I'm originally from New York, but I work on promoting the US program and advising students who want to study in the US. I will also be reading some of your applications. I went to university in the US, but I'm based here in the UK. So if you're accepted to the program, you will be seeing and hearing a lot of me.
Thank you, Amanda. And today we're also joined, we're so happy that 2 of our cohort 3 students could join us today. So we have Firas Ashraf and Lucy Wilkins. And Firas comes from Derby and has travelled down today just for this. And as I said, they're in the 3rd cohort. So right now he's just waiting to hear about his final university decision. And Lucy Wilkins is from Chesterfield, and she has also travelled down today just for this, which is amazing. And she has just been admitted to Yale, so we're delighted for her. And they're here today to answer all your questions. So please make the most of this great opportunity, and in the next hour we'll open up the floor to them. And we actually have questions that are coming in already, which we're really, really happy about. So we'll just hand over to you guys. So the first question, what was the highlight of the experience for you? Lucy?
All of it. From the US week, I'd say when we sat, I went to look around Princeton campus, and it was like a fairy tale. It was just, we were sat, it was so sunny. We'd been given these cards with a hefty amount of money on there. So we all went to have lunch and then went back again and sat outside with all this food, and it was just so beautiful. And I was just sat there thinking, is this real? Could I actually be applying to a place like this? And this is brilliant.
And for me, definitely, like Lucy said, the whole US week was just amazing. I guess my highlight was going to New York for a full day. I mean, I've always seen it on TV. It's always been a dream to go there. And then it was an early start, 5 in the morning that day to travel there, but it was so worth it. And I mean, we went to an amazing university there. We had a reception with the British Consulate General, and that was like a networking event. We met so many great people, CEOs of companies. That was amazing. And then in the evening, driving back, we went through Times Square in the night, and you just can't imagine like being there. It still feels surreal looking back at my photos, thinking I've been there, and that was part of the US program and part of like an amazing week.
And especially when we was at the Consulate General's house, we were all dressed up in smart clothes, and you just look out, and it's this beautiful like apartment, and you look out and you see the whole of New York City, and we was just all there, just this group of kids from all over the UK with all these important people, and they were taking their time to sit and talk to you, people coming around offering canapes and drinks, and it was just a wow, one of those moments that I know I'll never forget. It'll be the same, fresh in my mind.
And what was particularly good about that is that they came to speak to us. They weren't here because they had to be. They wanted to be there. They wanted to talk to us, and they wanted to network with us.
That's great. Thanks, guys. And another question that came in before was, what kind of institutions did you visit on the US weeks? What kind of, I know that they're based at Harvard, Yale, and MIT. What other kind of places did you have access to?
One of the things I thought was really great is because when I went across to the US, I decided that I wanted to go to the US. Like, by this point, I was like, yes, the US is for me. But I didn't know what type of institution to apply for, because I think it's quite different to, say, the UK, because there's liberal arts, and then there's, you've got the big universities like Princeton and Yale and Harvard, and then you've got all girls, and there's so many different types. But when we went, I got to look around at least one of each type of every university. So I think like I stayed at Yale for the week, but then I visited other big ones like Princeton, and then went to liberal arts ones like Smith's, which is also an all-girls one. So you get to see a full range. Then if you do decide to apply to the US, then like, oh yeah, okay, I definitely like the bigger size ones, or I like the medium size ones, or the small ones. You're not just applying to this foreign country having no idea what to expect. So that's a real benefit for US week.
And we've had a question come in about the US weeks. You're asking, is it split into 2 weeks, or how exactly does it work? This year, what we're going to be doing is dividing students into actually 3 different summer schools, just because it's better experience if you're in kind of a smaller group, and you'll be divided between Yale University and MIT, and then we're going to have a day hosted by Harvard. And obviously I said those dates to keep them free from the 31st till the 12th, but the actual weeks are going to be broken down into the 31st of July until the 7th of August will be week 1, and then week 2 will be the 5th to the 12th of August. So if for some reason, we hope that students will kind of be able to keep all those dates free, but if for some reason you're only available from the 5th to the 12th, that's something we could work with you more closely with once you've applied to the program. So if you're only available for part of that week, please state that in your application or drop us an email and let us know. And obviously we will try to work around you, as we can. And again, it depends on the circumstances. If you can't make it because you're going to Leeds Festival, then we probably won't be able to make that exception. But if you have another volunteer opportunity or another program you're taking part in, or you're going to space camp or something like that in the summer, and it's a really important opportunity for you, then of course we'll do what we can to work with you on that. So Students don't actually pick the week they go on. We assign you to weeks, but obviously we'll try and make it work for you as much as we can. And these guys, I'm sure, can back me up in saying that all the weeks are amazing. They were both actually on the same week, on the Yale week, but from their peers in the program, all the weeks are incredible, and you'll get a great opportunity.
It's kind of like everyone thinks their week is the best week. So Yale was definitely.
Yeah, we definitely think Yale was the best week, but I know because we make so many friends. You have friends with every different week, and then you'd get into like arguments like, no, we went to see the Red Sox game at Harvard week, and we were like, no, we got to go Yale. So I wouldn't worry about what week you get on or can you choose what weeks. Every single week is amazing, and there's one day where you all collaborate and you're all together, and like that's amazing. Like 175 Sutton Trust students get together for one day, you have like a really nice meal and stuff. So I wouldn't worry about what week you're on. Every single one is amazing.
And what's nice about people having different weeks as well is I could ask the people on the MIT week about the universities that they visited as well. And also, what was nice about the weeks, each week had their own, we all got together and did individualized t-shirts and stuff. So Yale week had their Yale Sutton Trust, and then the MIT. Yeah, and then we had Team MIT and Team Harvard.
And we actually had, when the MIT, like when all the weeks got together, we had an ultimate frisbee tournament between the different weeks. So there's loads of like little activities like that, and so you all get back together. So it's just a great experience, and all the weeks are amazing.
That's great. Thanks so much, guys. And another question we had earlier was, do you have? I mean, you kind of addressed this, but what's kind of work to fun ratio on the US weeks? Do you think? Is it really intense? Is it really hectic? Is there a lot of work, or do you actually get to see and experience the US and have fun as well?
So I personally think that it was like 90% fun and like 10% work. There's not really a lot that you have to do academically. For example, on the weeks, you get like chaser sessions in lectures, and you have like really famous professors come and talk to you, and that's not work. It's just fun. Like you get to meet. These professors are coming to like talk to you, give you a taste of what US study could be like, and you could ask like any question that you have, and it's really amazing. And then on the fun side, every day is fun. I mean, like they're long days, but they're fun days. You get to visit so many places, meet so many people, try so many different foods. Like I had American Subway, and I keep telling all my friends that I've had American Subway. You get 2 cookies in your meal deal, not one like you do in the UK. So I mean, there's definitely so many highlights and so much fun that you have. So yeah, they're a lot of fun.
The days are long and jam-packed, but you wouldn't want them to be any different. So like for us, the New York day, we got up ridiculously early, and then we got back and then ordered because New Haven style pizza, so you've got to try that if you go on the Yale week. And then we all came back, we were all absolutely shattered, but everyone went down and had this pizza. So it was just like the days are full, but you want it. You wouldn't want them.
Yeah, they're jam-packed, full of so many different activities, but each one is like you want to remember every activity you do, even if it's just getting a campus tour. Like everything is just amazing, and you go to so many different places and travel a lot, and yeah, even like the hour-and-a-half bus journeys are so fun. So you get to play like Chinese whisper tournaments, which we did on the Yale week. So I mean, yeah, it's long hours, but it's fun.
And just to switch to a couple of questions that have come in about our kind of application process, somebody's asked if we do an interview as part of our application process. The answer to that is no. What we do is the video submissions. So you'll see that if you've created your online account, and you can also get more information on the website. But basically, we just ask you to film yourself doing a short video interview and then upload it to YouTube and send us the link as part of your application. And we watch those, and it gives us a better sense of you as an applicant. So that's kind of instead of doing a formal interview, we just want you to answer some questions and tell us a bit about yourself. And we did address this in the last webinar, but just to kind of say again, we really do encourage you all to submit a video interview. It really does make your application for us. It helps us get to know you better in a way that we just can't on paper. And even if it's bad quality and you think, oh no, are they even going to look at this? It's kind of fuzzy. It's just filmed in my room. Like that's fine. We do not expect anything formal. We don't expect anything, of a really, really high quality. We just want to see you and to hear you and for you to answer the questions. And of course, there's so much guidance as soon as you create your application. under the video section, there's a link to guidance that we provide, and it kind of outlines in detail how you should do it. And the video that we do on YouTube we make private, so it's not out to the public, it's just to us. And then you submit it as part of your application, and it's definitely a good idea to do it. Would you guys, do you have anything to add to that? How did you do your video interview?
Well, I remember thinking at first, I need to do something to make mine, stand out. And then I was thinking back to Legal in London, when she did her Harvard one in Lilo, and then I realised that, mine was just me in front of the camera, just answering the questions. And I don't know, you just want to show who you are, just answer them truthfully. If you're funny, then be funny when you answer the questions, but don't be funny if you're not funny. Just be whoever you are, and then that'll come across, because when you get to work with the Sutton Trust staff, you realise that you get personal relationships. They know who you are. They know. So just by seeing you in your video, just be yourself, and that if you're yourself, then.
I mean, the video interviews are really, really useful. So I just pretended I was talking to someone I knew, and just a friend, sat in front of my laptop trying to record it, but I just pretended that someone was in the room with me. So I wouldn't worry about, you might come across a bit weird. Just don't worry about it, because you're just talking and having a chat with someone, and that's how you should view the video interview. And it's actually really funny, when you turn up at the residential, one of the staff said to me, I remember your video, and I was just slightly embarrassed, but then it felt like that personal connection was already made, and that when they pick you as a student, they actually know you and want you to be part of a program. So it's a really nice privilege.
That's great, thanks guys. Yeah, and I would definitely agree with that. We love to watch your videos, and we remember all the videos we watch. So at the residential, if you get to that point, we may be coming up to you as a fangirl saying, well done on such a great video. Okay, so to just address a few questions about the US universities and their application systems. Somebody's asked, how is applying to the US different from the UK? And do we get support in our applications to the US? So I'll pass over to Amanda.
Yeah, so that's a great question. It is a very different process. Unlike in the UK, there is no centralized application system, so there is no UCAS, which poses its own challenges, but you're applying to every university separately. And because of that, so each university has its own deadlines, its own admissions requirements, its own essay questions. It's a very detailed process, but it's doable, and that is the point. The Sutton Trust program, we will walk you through every single step of the application process, from the financial aid, from writing your essay, from reading your recommendations. We are there to help you. And I don't know if you guys want to talk about, maybe your support and how you felt when you first decided to apply to university, and the differences between the applications.
So you realize when you get into the program, or if you decide that US studies for you, how many things you have to do compared to UCAS. UCAS is just your personal statement, it's gone, it's done, you pick your course. But in the US there's a lot, and it is possible to do it on your own, but I think it'd be a lot more difficult to do it without the support of Sutton Trust. They give you reminders, you get given a mentor later on in the process who will help read your essays that you'll have to submit. You'll become a pro at writing essays. And the advice that you get, the advice in applying to different places, where's going to be a good fit for you, and Sutton Trust and people who work here can advise you.
I mean, definitely you get so much support. It doesn't feel like there's 100 other people also applying to US unis. It feels like you're the only one, and there's 4 different staff members who are literally helping you. So it's very individualized, personalized. They're not just giving you generic information submit this application. They'll look at you and assess you and help you find that perfect university, work your way through the application. And so you definitely get sort of one-to-one support, even though there's like I said, about 100 other people probably applying. And obviously it will vary each year, but the amount of support is just incredible. And I don't think you would get this anywhere else. So I wouldn't worry that if you actually think that US study is for you, and then you see this massive application form, it's actually such a breeze, because it's they walk with you hand in hand through each step. So it's really great. The support and advice you get is amazing.
I mean, I know for me, I had a little panic the night before my application was due, and I decided that I didn't like one of my essays. So I did a quick, late night call to one of the Sutton Trust staff to get them to reread it on the phone to me, just double check that they thought it would be okay, which you shouldn't do that. It should have all been sorted, but they were there for me, my hour of need.
Thanks, guys. That's great. Thanks very much. Another question that has come in is somebody asking, if you've been to the US on holiday, will that affect your application? Definitely not. We do ask that in the application form, and it's just to get a sense of how much experience you've had in the country, and it's good for us to know and to sort of see, again, in the context of your whole application. But if you've been to the US, if you've been to Florida for a couple of weeks in summer, that is definitely not going to affect your application. If you've lived there for a number of years, we would think that there could be other students that hadn't accessed the US at all and would really benefit from this opportunity, but definitely not to the extent that we would remove your application or that you'd be ineligible for the program. So please don't worry about that, and just be honest in the question about your holidays, and just let us know, and don't worry about it. Somebody else has asked about the cost of the program. So how much does it cost? And I did say quickly at the beginning that program costs are covered. Again, we'll talk about that at the April residential, which is the first residential of the program, but the costs for the program are covered. So we pay for you to travel down to London for the UK residentials, we pay for all your food, and we pay for a lot of the support in the program, test prep tutors, etc. And there are small costs like the application fees that we ask you to budget for, but we tell you those at the very beginning of the program so that you have time to kind of plan and budget, and are completely kind of fair and being honest about what you will have to pay for in the process. But the whole program is completely covered by the Sutton Trust. Would you guys anything to add to that?
Yeah, I mean, definitely everything. I was also worried about how will I travel down to London. I've never been before till the first residential, in fact. So little things like that. The costs are all covered. I mean, they cover your food, your accommodation and stuff, and they give you so much food, it's ridiculous, but it's really good as well. Like, you'll walk out of sessions and like a magic table of just like Kit Kats and apples and crisps are there. So don't worry about having to get extra money off your parents, for example, when you come down, because everything is covered, and they do work with you really well to ensure that you could cope with any sort of cost that you may have. So yeah.
And somebody also asked if we have to pay for flights. Again, no, we do not expect you to pay for flights. All the program, travel, accommodation, everything's covered, so that completely includes the US weeks. So we pay for your flights from Heathrow, and we pay for your travel to get to Heathrow, and then we pay for your flights to the US. We pay for the accommodation in the US, and again, all the food for the week. And yeah, so really, I mean, you could bring spending money to the US if you wanted to. If you decided you want to buy yourself a Yale hoodie, we won't pay for that, but we will pay for everything else involved in programming of the week. Did you guys bring spending money when you went on the US week?
Yeah, actually, I didn't spend that much of it there. But one of the great things is, because the universities know you're coming, they tend to give you discounts in the shop anyway. Yes. So I think we got like a 20% discount off Yale shop.
Yeah, we got a discount. Yeah.
So even the universities, when it's like, the Sutton Trust kids are coming, we'll give them some discounts and cookies, and you get so many freebies. You could bring a suitcase for the college fair. I got my year supply of pens and bags and all sorts. So. And
like we mentioned, like when we went to Princeton, they gave us so much money to spend at lunch. We all bought extra food for on the journey home, because we just had so much money. So yeah, for the US week, you don't really need to bring. You don't need to bring anything if you don't want to. I mean, I know some people who didn't bring anything and they still had like the most amazing time. So definitely don't worry about any costs and stuff.
Yeah. And somebody's asked if an income question, so to do with eligibility, if your income's just over 45K, should I still apply? Definitely. Again, this is something that we address on the webinar and also on the website. So please look back to that if you have any concerns about kind of income eligibility. But yeah, no, we definitely encourage you to apply. And the thing is, we look at all applications holistically. So obviously, the Sutton Trust is a social mobility charity, so we are looking for students from lower income families that are high achieving, but we do look at your full application. So if you're slightly concerned about that, I would really strongly recommend you to just apply anyway, unless your income is significantly higher than that. But obviously, if you have specific questions, do feel free to just email us at suttontrust@fulbright.org.uk, and we can speak to you about that in more detail.
I would say, if you're thinking about applying, like, oh, should I submit it? Am I good enough? You know, am I clever enough for this? Or am I even going to get in because so many people are applying? I was sat in exactly the same situation as you last year. I didn't know if I'd get onto this program. I was like, oh, what if no one from my school, well, no one had like heard of the program before, no one had applied to America before. It was just, you know what, why not? And it has completely changed my life. Like, if you're sat there just thinking, should I submit this application? Do it. You've got nothing to lose by submitting it. You're here, listen to this chat, so you've probably started it. Well, hopefully you started it, or even if you haven't, you've got a whole week. You know, you've not got that much to do. You can still submit your application. It really could change your life. And so I just encourage you so much that it's the best program ever. And if you're thinking about it, just click submit, and don't click submit too late, because I did mine the night before. I'd done my application already, but I was kind of just waiting to submit it. And a lot of people were trying to log on the night before last year, and I only just got mine submitted before the 12 o'clock deadline. So it was, if you finish your application, click submit now, just so you know it's gone and it's saved. But make sure you apply.
Definitely. And somebody's asked, will being on the program help my chances of getting into a US university? I don't know if you guys want to say that one.
So, in a way, you could say yes, because you learn so much about the US process. You get so much help and guidance that you are in a better position if you do want to apply. But it's not a guarantee. Like, they can't guarantee that you will get into Harvard, for example. I mean, these universities are very competitive, but like I said, you do have an edge because you just literally learn so much information. You get so much support, so much guidance that it does sort of help you. So yeah, I think it's like an amazing opportunity which does sort of boost your application.
You get as well, you get quite a few different things. You get team leaders at all the residentials, so they're usually people from the previous year, so hopefully Faraz and I can be team leaders this year. So we might meet some of you guys, and we can, you know, pass on, we were in your shoes the year before. And then I mentioned as well, you get given mentors later on, and they're really specific to you, and they can help you with all your applications. And you've also got things like the college fair and college days, where you go and meet the universities and you talk to the reps, and that's really important because it does play a part in the US admissions process when you get to talk to them. And when we went to America, When we went to America, there was a college fair at Harvard, and it was specifically for Sutton Trust students. So I think about 25 US institutions came to Harvard to talk to us Sutton Trust students. There was no one else there. We could talk to the reps, we could ask them questions, we could get our faces known, and you wouldn't get that anywhere else. And that it helps you just like fall in love with the university, but it helps the universities fall in love with you as well. And then even the college day that we went to in the UK, which is the biggest in the country, there's hundreds and hundreds of colleges and universities from the US there, and the Sutton Trust kids get to go in 15 minutes early, so you get like free reign. You run to go and find your favourite one first and talk to them, and that kind of thing is really important.
And also, the reputation of Sutton Trust US Programme is just so wide that US universities are just, you know, they want us, they want Sutton Trust kids, and they will want you, because they know how like amazing you guys are. Like, your applications will be amazing. Academically, yes, you'll be strong, but you'll also have all the other things that US university look for. You'll be, you know, a social person. You'll like helping out in your local communities. There's plenty of stuff that will, you know, like you yourself will be an amazing candidate, and the Sutton Trust US Programme just helps you shine through even better. I mean, when we went to each university while we were there, they specifically wanted us to visit the university. They took us around on like a tour. There was no one else there, no other people who were like joining us, like random strangers. They were there to talk to us. They gave a session specifically for us. We had lectures at like amazing universities, and they did it all because we're part of the Sutton Trust US Programme. So definitely, it's like your chances are like really amazing if you go through with this.
Like, cause when we went to Harvard for the college day, they ordered us pizza, and some of the people who worked in admissions baked us cookies, and it was like
homemade cookies. Yeah,
homemade cookies. It was like people from Harvard have picked us cookies. Like, it was pretty surreal, but yeah, it's to be on the program. It is really helpful in so many ways.
Yeah, and I think on top of that is the you know, the advising support you get from the team, because you know, as they addressed earlier, we help you kind of choose the universities that are the right fit for you. So that in itself is going to help improve your chance of admission. You know, we can help you kind of find a university that fits your profile or fits your kind of wants and needs and your grades and things like that. So we do work really individually with each student on the program to help them, you know, make the best plan for them that hopefully will have success. Yeah.
Like, they know so much about you as a student that they'll, you know, email you, say, look, we found this university, and because of who you are, you'll fit right in. And then you look at it and you're like, guys, you lot are amazing. This is like my dream school now. And they really do make support like personalized, and they want to fit you into a US uni, and they want that US uni to fit you. So they get so much information off you, as if you've had like a counseling session, but then they flip it around and they get you in, like, help you find that perfect fit. So it's an amazing program.
Thanks, guys. And then another couple of other questions that have just come in. Somebody's asked, are most students from London or from the South? Definitely not. We try to make sure that the program is representing the whole of the UK. So we try to make sure it's proportionate to the population. So we have students from Scotland and Wales and Northern Ireland, and obviously, you know, the rest of England as well. So it's definitely not just specific to the South. You have just as much of a chance of getting in if you're applying from, you know, the very tip of Scotland or from rural Wales. Definitely apply. Again, Northern England, so all over the UK, we're more than happy to accept your applications and take you on the program. So don't let that get in your way at all.
And it's a great thing as well, because now I have friends all over the country. So wherever I go, I have a place to stay, and, you know, lots of adventures to go visit people.
And if you're someone who loves accents like me, when you come to the first residential and hear so many different voices, it's just like such an amazing thing. And you make, like Lucy mentioned, you make friends from all over the country. And like, so I'm not from London, I live a couple of hours away. If I ever want to come down, I have friends who I can live with, because you get that bond, you get that connection. And, you know, I have friends all over the UK, and it's just amazing. You build like such a cool network of people who are just amazing, amazing students. So it's just really cool. So don't worry about where you're from, because everyone will love where you're from. They want to know you, they want to know your hometown, and it's part of you. So don't be afraid of applying because you may be from Dundee or somewhere like that. That's an amazing place, I think, if you are.
If you get onto this program, you're suddenly going to have 175 or 174 more friends, and you all get given a yellow rucksack. You can see on our photos that we've both got it on, and you wear them all the time. So you come to a residential and you'll be on the tube and you'll see someone in that yellow rucksack, and you'll just immediately go up to them and just start a conversation with them, because they're a Sutton Trust kid like you, and although they might have different interests, you kind of have that in common, and everyone just seems to get on with each other. Like, I've not met a horrible person on the program. Everyone is just so down to earth and relaxed, and it doesn't matter where you're from. It's just real friends.
Yeah, and somebody did just ask if, you know, what the dynamic is. Obviously, you just addressed this, but people are asking if it's competitive, because obviously you're all high achieving, you're all looking to study in America, you know, you might be one of the top students in your year group. You know, have you ever experienced any sort of competitive nature between the cohort, or are you supportive?
I think everyone is very supportive. Like, throughout the whole process, every stage that you go through, we're not there like bragging about what we've achieved or anything. We're there for each other, and everyone just wants to help each other, support each other. I mean, when we applied to US universities and the first set of decisions came in, some people got places, some people didn't, but we were all there for each other, and everyone is. No one's in there for like their own gain. We all want to help each other out. Like, we look at each other's applications and help each other out. You know, we're texting like late at night because we care about each other. No one is like really competitive and like trying to get into their university and sabotage you. Like, everyone just gets on so well. Like, every time we leave a residential, and we're all like almost in tears, but then we're like, oh, we're going to see each other like a couple of weeks. And so, you know, nothing to worry about in terms of, do you have to be really competitive, or do you have to like voice your opinions to be heard while you're at the residential? Because even though there is a lot of you are in small teams, you have your team leaders, you have the staff, and you are sort of cared about, and you are noticed for everything that you achieve.
It's kind of, everyone is so diverse. It's so great to talk to different people. You can be like, oh, did you see that guy earlier? Do you know what? He can play the tuba or something. And then you just get in a conversation with different people about different things. But you're also different, but then you're all linked by just like kind of, you all have a similar mentality, and that's really nice. And I think sometimes as well, you know, at schools you don't want to talk about what you're doing too much, like, oh yeah, I'm thinking of applying to America, or I'm thinking of applying to this university, because you don't want to seem like you're trying to brag or show off or anything like that. But on the program, it's not like that. It's like you're just telling your friends, and then they'll tell you about where they're applying. And it's nice to have people that you can talk about the experience with who are going through a similar experience, because they can understand it in a way that your friends at school might not be able to understand it. So it's nice to have that new set of friends kind of away from it all, who are there to support you.
And you're all on the same sort of level. No one's like better than you, no one's worse than you. It's like a level playing field where everyone's helping each other. And it is literally, it might sound too good to be true that everyone actually cares about each other, but when you get to the first residential, you'll realise that, you know, everyone's just amazing people individually, but as a group, I think we all like love each other. Like we're like all brothers and sisters and really great friends.
And we have a program Facebook group. So like if you're on the program and you have a question about, you know, the application process, or, you know, the residential that's coming up or whatever, then you can ask us, and that's asking the staff and each other. And it's great to see, you know, students on the program helping each other out and answering each other's questions. And, you know, from a staff perspective as well, we see that support network every day, and it really is inspiring. So I think that's not anything you have to worry about. Everybody is friends, and it's definitely a network that lasts and continues. Also, so, I mean, somebody's just asked, if you go on the US program and you decide that studying in the US isn't for you, in terms of that network, that's still there, and that's completely fine. I mean, we have students that decided the UK was a better fit for them for whatever reason, and they're still, you know, in touch with the program, and we completely support their decision to do that. And I think that's something that we definitely want to emphasize, because by applying to the program, you're not at all committing to applying for US study. So you're applying to the program because you're interested in the US and you want to find out more, and you want to experience the US in a real way, but maybe you just aren't sure yet what direction you want to go in, and that's absolutely fine. And you can do that and apply and enjoy the program, and then if at the end of it you decide that you still want to stay in the UK, that's not a problem at all, and we'll be more than happy to support you and keep in touch with you. And one of my mentees from last year, I keep in touch with him and hear how he's doing at a UK university, and that's, you know, that's amazing, and we completely support you in that.
Yeah, I mean, like, some of my closest friends I've made on the program have actually decided to stay in the UK. So, I mean, definitely, and they're fine with it. The Sutton Trust team are perfectly happy, because the whole idea of this program is to get a taste and feel of what it would be like to actually go abroad to the US. So it's perfectly fine if you want to actually go and pursue the US dream, or you want to stay in the UK. Either one is perfect.
Great, thank you. Okay, so we're nearing the end. We just want to say thank you. Oh, sorry, another question has just come in. That's a really great question from a mother that wants to know if the program gives parents any information. Definitely, and I'm really glad you asked that. We have a parents session at the first residential, so that's for parents that can make it down to London. And we have, you know, it's a kind of information session. We tell you about the program. We tell you kind of about the whole process that your child's going to go through. But we also provide information, resources, you know, in paper, and also we have contact with parents, so you can speak to parents on the phone, can email them. We've recently set up a parents Facebook group so that parents can, you know, help each other as well, or answer any questions that they might have. And did either of your parents attend the parents session, or what did they think about the resources?
Yeah, my mum and grandma came to the parents information session, and they found it really helpful, because I think I'd kind of applied to this US program and didn't really know what it was about, and for it to come down, and if your parents can come down, I'd definitely recommend it, because it's a scary thing. Like, you're gonna go to the US for a week, and then if you suddenly come back from the US week and they're like, oh yeah, I'm applying to a US university, but your parents haven't been really involved from the start, it's kind of a big shock to the system for them. So you want them on board.
And on the flip side, like, my mum couldn't come down to London, so I've got the other perspective. But she literally knows everything that I'm doing, because the staff keep her well informed. There's loads of information for her, and it doesn't feel like they've only been running this program for 4 years. Like, you'd think they'd be doing it for years and years and years and years, because they just have so much experience, and everything's well organized. If your parents are worried about you're going to be alone in London or you're going to be alone in America, there's literally loads of schedules, loads of timetables, and everything is sort of like perfectly planned. So definitely, like, your parents shouldn't be worried about how much like knowledge these people have, because They literally have like so much knowledge of US stuff, and the residentials are all safe, nothing to worry about, and yeah.
And another thing is that at the parent session, if you can make it down, we have parents speaking from previous cohorts. So, you know, maybe a cohort 1 mother or cohort 2 mother who can, or father, who you can sort of speak with. So they'll do a bit of a presentation, and then afterwards you can chat to them about their experience as a parent, because, you know, you probably will be quite involved in this process that your child's going through. So it's definitely something that you want to understand from the beginning, and we make sure that you do. So thank you for asking that question. And we are kind of close to wrapping up now. Again, I want to say thank you so much for all your amazing questions, and I hope that we've been able to answer them all. With anything about application questions or other questions about the programme, if you can't find the answer on the website or on the previous webinar we did that's also linked on the website, then please email us, and we'll be more than happy to answer your questions. We wanted today to kind of focus on Firas and Lucy's experiences, and we hope we've managed to do that. And we really appreciate you tuning in, and I hope this is helpful. And before we sign off, I want to pass over to these two again, just to give any kind of final words of wisdom, maybe for students that are on the fence or aren't sure if they're going to submit or think it's a lot of work, and I only have a week left, should I do it? What are your words of wisdom?
Just do it. I don't know, everything starts with a dream, and like last year it was kind of, I remember the first residential, it was on my 17th birthday. My stepdad took me to the train station, and I remember saying, like, oh, I feel like today is like the start of the rest of my life. And a year later, it really has changed absolutely everything. I went from, like, I don't know, not having a clue what I wanted to do at a UK university, so struggling to find a course, and then to now having a place at a US institution and being able to go and live in America for 4 years. Everything just worked out perfectly. And if you think that might be something that you want, just go ahead and submit an application, because I don't know what it was that the Sutton Trust decided that they wanted, that they wanted me on their program compared to like other people, because everyone who I've met on the program seems incredible and they all seem like great people. And so don't worry about, maybe, did I play that instrument and did I do this and did I do that? Just be yourself in your application. Don't try and be someone that you're not. Just be honest and real. And that's the same if you do decide to apply for a US university. Just do the whole process, be whoever you are, and you'll go the right way. So good luck with everything, and I hope to meet some of you in April or sometime in the future.
And yeah, definitely, I think you should just go for it. Like, it's a bit cheesy, but you never know if you don't try. And I always have that perspective with everything I do, and it's definitely worked with this program. Like, this time last year, I was thinking, okay, I've hit submit. Will it even happen? And then, a couple of weeks later, or a month or two later, you're finding out that you go in, and it just feels like a dream come true to like be part of this amazing program, go America, now apply to American universities. You never know what's possible until you try. Just put your heart and soul into your application. Be yourself, be honest. Like Lucy said, don't be someone you're not. But just definitely, if you be yourself, you'll shine through. Just answer everything honestly. Like, I know the question from this year is, if you had a free afternoon, what would you do? Just literally, it's the first thing that comes into your mind is probably something amazing. And just sort of, be yourself, and you'll do this, and you could be, we all could be seeing you in a couple of months' time, and that'll be great.
So thank you very much, guys. We really look forward to seeing your applications, reading your applications, and seeing your video interviews, and selecting cohort 4. So again, don't hesitate to get in touch if you have any other questions. I hope this has been useful, and thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you.